My name is Manish, and I'm the founder and CEO of Hevo Data. Hevo Data started with a very, very simple idea that we wanted humans to make high quality decisions. And when you have to make the high quality decision, it inherently has to be based on the facts. The facts decide in the data and the information around you. We wanted to push the boundaries that can we make it possible for humans to make fast decisions and get them very accurate. That's how the idea of Hevo Data started. One of the first challenges when we wanted to leverage data to make decisions was either you could take a decision which is fast out of your intuition, or if you want to get the decision accurate, you need to have a lot of time to gather all the information and data from different systems so that you can take a very informed decision. In the initial days when we started, people just needed some amount of data to make decision, which was more about supporting their intuition or trying to check their intuition whether they are on track or not. What we've seen over a period of time, say last 8 years or so, humans are now more confident looking at the data and making the decision rather than just going by the intuition. That's kind of a change in how we think about things. And one thing we've realized is that gaining the trust of the user while they are making decision is very, very important.
Hevo has been a great combination of both, great reliability at a competitive price.
Before Hevo, there used to be cases where our data pipelines broke because a third party had changed their API, and this will in turn lead your transformations to get delayed, so your dashboards are not up to date. But with Hevo, they're very proactive in maintaining the schema of these APIs. So we always have the continuity of data, which is a very important SLA for my team.
We don't look ourselves as a data integration or a data replication provider. We look ourselves as the partners to our customers to enable them to make better decisions. We promise to the customers that once you set up this data pipeline, you wouldn't have to come monitor, observe. We will take care of everything. So you're not buying a software which moves the data. You're buying a commitment that your data from the source is going to be available in your end destination. It's our purpose to make sure that the data is trustworthy. And in order to do that, there is no other option but to deeply invest in your engineering system to build the most reliable data pipelines.
With the rise of generative AI, millions of petabytes of data are being generated by businesses across processes, and then add to this the increasing number of software tools that every team now depends on to operate. We are in a data avalanche where one data stream impacts another. Every new SaaS tool adds another stream of data. Every AI model demands cleaner and more structured inputs. Every operational workflow becomes more data-driven. This growth is exciting, but it also introduces new layers of complexity. Storing data is no longer the hardest problem. Ensuring that it is reliable, observable, cost-efficient, and truly trustworthy at scale is where the real challenge lies. Over the last 8 years, Hevo has evolved on 3 core levers that we call RST: reliability, simplicity, and transparency.
You want the accessibility of the data for a very large set of your population to be able to access that data and make the decision. So simplicity becomes very, very important. You're looking at the data and making a critical decision. So you have to be confident that the data that is there is something that you can trust on and it's reliable. So reliability becomes very, very important. You should be able to know that where did this data come from, what does it represent, and why should I trust this data. So simplicity, reliability, and transparency are the 3 pillars that we've learned serving 2,000 customers, that these are the factors that really, really matter to users before they start to lean on the data to make the decisions.
They have shaped how we evaluate every feature, every release, and every architectural decision. Over the years, we have reviewed thousands of support tickets and analyzed deep product usage patterns from more than 2,000 of our existing customers who run mission-critical workloads on Hevo every single day. We have paid close attention to where pipelines experienced friction, where visibility was not granular enough, and where scale began to introduce unpredictability, and where customers needed more control without sacrificing simplicity. It wasn't about adding more connectors or improving throughput. It was about rethinking how the engine itself was designed to operate under sustained, large-scale workloads.
When we started analyzing larger production workloads, like larger database application at scale, it became clear that the constraints that we were operating within were architectural, not incremental. Hevo is now on a microservices architecture. We also restructured the system into two distinct layers. The data plane is responsible for ingestion, buffering, transformation, and loading. The control plane is responsible for orchestration, state management, schema tracking, checkpointing, and recovery. We also introduced a dedicated failure handling service. This operates independently from ingestion and loading. The failure handling service evaluates errors at the record and object level and ensures that a single failure does not cascade into full pipeline interruption unless explicitly configured. This is especially important for financial or compliance-sensitive datasets where strict failure policies may be required, versus operational datasets where partial tolerance is acceptable. Schema evolution was another area where we introduced greater control. In many systems, schema auto-mapping can introduce unintended structural drift. Hevo now allows controlled schema policies, including blocking or selectively allowing changes, while still permitting unaffected data to continue flowing. We also introduce isolated runtime environments per pipeline. Each pipeline runs within its own compute boundaries, preventing resource contention or eliminating the risk of cascading failures. If one high-volume job spikes CPU or memory usage, it does not degrade adjacent workloads. All of these architectural changes resulted in measurable performance improvements. Connectors perform 10x faster with nearly 50% lesser TCO compared to other ETL solutions.
We observed that some of the customers were using this data to do the financial settlement with their partners. Now, if your data is not accurate, you may see that there is a transaction mismatch where I'm supposed to pay 5 million to someone and I'm probably paying 7 million. That's the impact sometimes. And I'm just taking these numbers. The actual numbers were much larger. That's when we realized that how critical it is for the customers to get this data absolutely right. It has to be 100% accurate 100% of the time.
Hevo now provides deeper visibility to all your data ingestions with unified dashboards, job and batch level monitoring, allowing teams to monitor the pipeline in each step. With every version and feature update, we improve the platform, enhancing stability, increasing speed, optimizing cost efficiency, and making the overall pipeline experience more seamless.
Now, when it comes to AI, this is the number of questions that people have and the number of people who have those questions has just exploded. Now, it's humanly impossible for you to have as many as the analysts and the dashboards for you to be able to get the answers that are important for you to make decisions about your business. And that's one fundamental shift which is happening, where the capability of AI is not the constraint. The constraint is the quality of your data and the accuracy of your data, which is what our commitment to the customer is, that no matter where your data is residing, we will bring all your data accessible to AI with all the context possible, so that you can fully leverage the capability of AI models to get the business answers that you really need. And you should be confident about relying on that answer to make decisions. We wanted to make sure that when customers are using Hevo Data for ingesting their data from various different systems into a central location for their AI data models, customers should be able to trust that all my data is accurately available to the AI along with all the context. In data pipelines, failures do occur. It's a common scenario. And how resilient your system is to be able to identify where the failure has happened, recover it, log it somewhere, so that later on you can go and find it out what all changed and alert the customer well ahead of the time, so that they know what they need to do with very explicit set of instruction around what is expected of them. The system has to be elastic and scalable in such a way that you want these pipelines to be autonomous, where no human is monitoring them. So you have to invest in agentic systems that are constantly monitoring these pipelines to make sure that everything is working perfectly fine. I like to help people make good decisions. So getting the data at one place for people to make decision was very, very dear and near to me. Like, that's something that I cared about a lot. That's why I picked this problem to solve, because in the entire stack, this is the hardest problem to solve, and it's a problem which requires a very high level of endurance and persistence to be at it and solve it, because there are not too many players who want to go solve such a deep engineering problem, and that's what gets us all excited about